I'm excited to continue my conversation with local author Michael Raleigh. What is a day in the life of Michael Raleigh like?
Well, sometimes I work and I teach writing at DePaul, but on a day when I've got a morning free, I sit down anywhere from 8:30, 9 o'clock and just start writing. A good morning is 3.5 hours. Play some music, get a cup of coffee, and start writing. And usually when I start writing, I've got an idea what I'm going to be working on that day. So one of my strategies that I developed long ago so I wouldn't be eaten up by writer's block, which is a plague to young writers.
Have you suffered writer's block?
When I was young, I did, yeah. And then I just developed different kinds of strategies. I started planning what my writing morning was going to be like several days in advance, especially if I knew I only had one morning that week to write.
And what would you plan if you were having block? How do you get...
There is always another scene that you can work on, and that's actually what I do now. I don't write a linear story. I write whatever scene comes to me, and then I try and hook them up.
You weave them together.
Yes, and I try not to be like the guys who were building the tunnel through the mountain in Italy a few years ago who found out when they got in the middle it didn't meet.
I felt like that might have happened in Boston too.
Well,
where
maybe it did,
where
yeah.
they were building
but
their big dig.
I know it happened in Italy through a big mountain. They didn't meet in the middle. So you don't want that to happen. But I find a way to tie them all together eventually.
The Peerless Detective. So you write about this character, and then you fall in love with this character and want to know more about him.
Yeah, Harry Strummer comes into Peerless Detective about 50 pages into the book, because it starts out being about the young drifter coming to Chicago. And Harry's one of my favorite, maybe my favorite character that I've ever written. And I decided I wanted to write an earlier book about him, showing him setting up his agency and going through the process of becoming a private eye in Chicago. He's an interesting character. He's streetwise. He knows everybody on the street. There's nobody who thinks is so beneath him that he can't talk to them and befriend them and things like that. So as a result, people talk to him and people give him information that they wouldn't give to other people, like the police. So.
Is it true that you even sometimes walk or drive distances so you'll know exactly what your character's doing?
Absolutely, yeah. You don't want to write a book in which you skip a street that your readers are going to know is missing, you know, so I try and make sure I've got all the details down.
Especially Chicago people, because they know their city.